Republicans in Texas and nationwide. Do not take this general election for granted. Amen to that. It is easy to say it's Texas, it's red, we're going to win, and I believe we are going to win. But I also think the Democrat nominee, Jason Talarico, is a dangerous candidate.
It's the question that pops up every couple years. Is Texas actually in play for Democrats? Well, the party is feeling the hype yet again, and they're rallying behind the person that we're just talking about, James Talarico. His campaign says it raised more than $3 million in the first 24 hours after Ken Paxton became his opponent for U.S. Senate. And Paxton certainly has a lot of baggage. He has faced years of allegations of political corruption and, of course, his personal conduct as well. And he has denied all wrongdoing and says the attacks against him are politically motivated. But even some Republicans are warning that Paxton could be a tough sell come November. And if all of this sounds familiar, it's because Democrats have had high hopes in Texas before. Beto O'Rouke came up short in his 2018 Senate campaign against Ted Cruz, and again in his 2022 run for governor against Greg Abbott. MJ Hager and Colin Allred built up buzz in their Senate races, but Texas stayed red. So, is this time different? Joining me now is someone who knows that question better than most, Beto O'Rouke himself. Beto, I'm glad that you are here. I have to know from your thinking, can Talarico actually pull off what so many Democrats have failed to do thus far?
It is sure looking good so far. I mean, the fact that he drew Ken Paxton, who is the public face of corruption in the state of Texas, this is a guy who's found to be using his public office to benefit a donor, and it was uncovered by his own staff who reported him to federal authorities. He was impeached by the state legislature, which was controlled by members of his own party. He then fired his staff members who reported him. They won a settlement totaling $6.6 million that Texas taxpayers are going to have to pay. They're footing the bill for his corruption. That's who James Talarico is up against. And Talarico himself is a guy who capped co-pays for insulin for diabetics in Texas at $25. He passed school finance reform to make sure that our local schools have the resources they need to teach our kids. And he's the guy that reduced the cost of child care in Texas. So this guy's got a proven track record of getting things done for Texas, while Ken Paxton has a public track record of being the most corrupt politician in this state, if not this country right now. That's the kind of matchup that we want to see in Texas.
Well, let's talk about that matchup, because the electorate in November will be very different than the primary that he just won. I mean, Trump won Texas by about 14 points. That was 2 years ago. He's going to have to convince many of those Trump voters to back him in order to win. So how should Talarico tailor his message for the general election and also for those Cornyn voters?
I think he needs to keep doing exactly what he has been doing. He's opened the biggest tent that I have seen in Texas. It's open to progressives, to moderates, to independents, to Republicans as well. He's judging no one based on their party affiliation or who they voted for last time. And Laura, what we're finding as we travel the state of Texas is there are a lot of people who voted for Trump hoping that he was going to improve their lives, their economic situation, the affordability of the things they depend on in order to live. And in every instance, Trump has failed him. We've seen some early positive signs that this failure is turning into victories for Democrats. In Tarrant County, home to Fort Worth, the largest red urban district in the country, a Democrat defeated the Republican in a district that Trump won by 14 points in 2024. It was a 31-point swing altogether. We had another victory in Southeast Texas in Brazoria County. So things are looking good. And in addition, there are 150 Democrats running for 150 state House seats, 38 Democrats running for 38 congressional seats, 16 Democrats running for 16 state Senate seats. We've never filled the ballot before since 1974. So half a century, we haven't had a fighter on every front. That's the team behind Talarico. You add Gina Hinojosa, who's running for governor, the rest of the statewide ticket. It's looking really good at a time that the president has never been more unpopular, and you have a scandal-plagued, corrupt opponent in Ken Paxton. These are the perfect conditions. Now, we can't promise anything. As you pointed out at the beginning, we'll Texas before, but these are the conditions in which we want to run.
Well, I looked this up because I was really curious about this in particular. And the polls had you with more than 80% support from black voters when you ran in 2018. James Talarico, though, needs to make some serious inroads with those same voters after his primary against Congresswoman Jasmine Crockett. How important is it for him to be able to win over black voters in Texas?
It's critical. I think it's the ball game. But I'll say something about Jasmine Crockett. I think, like James Talarico, she is a generational talent whose full story has yet to be told. There's a big future for her in Texas, and I think nationwide. To show you what a class act she is, before the dust had settled on that primary fight on the night of March 3rd of this year, she reached out to her supporters across all of her channels, and she said, you know what? We came up a little bit short. We need to get behind this guy, support him, and make sure that he is the next U.S. Senator for the state of Texas. I think if James Talarico can make the most of what Jasmine Crockett is able to do, and she's absolutely electric in every room she's in, she lights it up. If those two can campaign together, James Talarico will go out there and earn every single vote and take not a single one for granted, then he can win this incredibly important part of the electorate in Texas, which has more black voters than any other state in the union. So it's an excellent question because it's absolutely imperative that he does that in order to win. But what I've seen from him so far is very encouraging. And if he continues that over the next 5 months, I think he's going to win this thing.
So you believe he really does need Crockett's help more than just her asking her voters, even campaigning with him?
I do. I think Jasmine is such a public-minded person, is in this fight for life. And despite the bruising primary battle, she's going to do everything that she can, everything that it takes in order to make sure that James wins, because it's not about James. It's about the people of Texas. It's about the United States. This Senate seat will be the 51st vote in the U.S. Senate. And that 51st vote will either be cast by Ken Paxton on every one of Donald Trump's corrupt priorities, or it will be cast by James Talarico to fight corruption, to bring costs down, to ensure that more people can see a doctor or afford their prescriptions. That's the choice before Texas. Jasmine gets that. She has more star power than anyone I can think of in Texas, apart from James Talarico. When she uses that to connect with the electorate here, I think James is going to have more than an even shot of winning this in November.
Of course, they're going to try to talk about allegations of being a vegan and culture war issues against him to try to temper the allegations and the public sentiment against, of course, Ken Paxton. We're going to see how all that goes. Beto, before we go, your name has come up a lot in recent weeks in discussions about this very race. Just here's a little preview.
Plus, I think Beto O'Rouke from Hagen within 3 points of Ted Cruz.
That's what Beto O'Rouke was able to do in 2018.
Voters in Texas did not elect a far-left guy like Beto O'Rouke.
He's much different than Beto O'Rouke. He's different in the way that he delivers this stuff.
Their candidate is very reminiscent of Beto O'Rourke.
Obviously, you're living rent-free in a lot of people's heads, politically speaking. Are you tired of all the comparisons, or are there lessons from your races that Talarico should take into November?
One of the great lessons that I learned from 2018 during Trump's first midterm is that having a strong ticket that you can run with means everything. The reason we got within 2.6% of Ted Cruz, the closest any Democrat has come in decades, is because you had all these down-ballot Democrats running in races that they had no business competing in. One of them was James Talarico, this insurgent Democrat taking on an entrenched incumbent for a state house seat, and he won it, as did 11 other insurgent Democrats that year. Colin Allred won against Pete Sessions. Lizzie Panel Fletcher won in Southeast Texas. 19 black women won election to judicial positions in Harris County, the home to Houston, Texas, the most diverse city in the United States of America, literally changing the face